What's up, everybody? It's your boy, and we are indeed bad at the game. I'm so bad at the game, I'm letting other people play today. We are going to be watching a randomizer showcase of the new tournament presets. These are races going on between Ren and Crazy Four Blades. These are two individuals who are definitely going to be in this tournament. Honestly, some of the better randomizer players that I've seen sign up already for the tournament. The announcement went live yesterday. We are watching currently from the Brazilian restream that will be restreaming the tournament matches in Portuguese. So if you are Brazilian or just want to watch the Brazilian restream for whatever reason, it is over on Randomizer Brazil, twitch.tv/Randomizer Brazil. We're watching their restream today because they've already gone through the trouble of setting it all up for me. So thank you guys for all the donos. Thank you for all the subs. You guys are amazing. But yeah, we're starting with the first race right now. We showed up a little bit late. That's my bad. We haven't missed too much. They started in Reverse Alchemy Lab, and we've already seen a diversion in routes. This is what I was hoping for when I decided to do Second Castle Start as like the tournament standard for this next upcoming tournament, is because I wanted to see what players would do in completely different situations, very much detached from like the normal randomizer strats and whatnot. We're seeing Ren go for an approach of trying to stay alive in the reverse caverns, which is a pretty scary area to be in, using the shield unironically to try and block some projectiles, trying to stay alive a little bit, trying to also get enough stats, maybe enough levels to make it out alive here. We also have the guaranteed item drops on, so every time you kill an enemy, they are guaranteed to drop something. This just increases the consistency of ensuring that you have enough firepower to actually make it through the second castle without dying all the time. Very, very cool start already to see this sort of branching path. It looks like Crazy went for a more consistent safe route, which is going towards the center of the castle, towards that All Rocks warp, whereas Ren is saying, you know what, I have the wolf movement, that's part of the preset here. We have all this good wolf movement in the Cornavus preset, so might as well use it to our advantage to move around the second castle and try and, you know, see what we can do here. Crazy, taking a lot of damage here. Looks like to only be level 17 with Iron Fist, not a fantastic weapon to start with, and Ren choosing to use the Firebrand to kill Doppelganger. This Doppelganger fight is taking quite a bit of time, but we'll see. These players do also start with a suite of potions, stat potions, to increase their base stats, so hopefully they can get past some of the more dangerous areas here in the second castle, but overall, we're going to be seeing this a lot in the tournament. I think it's going to be slow, methodical boss fights, getting past enemies, doing item checks, trying to stay safe at the start of the second castle, but then you get a lot of level ups. You're able to slowly but surely be more confident in your movement, find more movement options, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I think the guaranteed drops helps with the watch as well, like watching players, because you get to see more items get used. You get to see more consistent strategies from the players, so it becomes a little bit more skillful in a way. And unfortunately, Ren going all the way towards this check past Doppelganger 40 and only finding the Sprite card. A little unfortunate, but it's okay, you know. At the end of the day, it is what it is. The other thing about Cornavus that you need to know is the win requirement for this preset is you need to collect all of the Vlad relics, all 5 Vlad relics, and you also need to kill all of the bosses. So Ren going out of his way to kill Doppelganger 40, that is a required boss, so he is a little bit ahead in regards to pure progression in that way. However, Crazy got the inverted All Rocks warp, which is kind of in the center of the second castle here. So if Crazy decides to go all the way to the first castle and then come back, he gets some guaranteed progression a little bit, where he can use that center warp as kind of like a pivot point to go to the different bosses to do different checks. Meanwhile, Ren is more committing to doing these checks here in the second castle. The other thing about this preset is the heart max-ups are replaced with MP max-ups, which also just gives more consistency to movement as you're going to be finding more mana across the game. So, and 2 familiar cards found for Ren. Unfortunately, those do pretty much nothing in this preset, but, you know, these are checks that you pretty much kind of have to do. Meanwhile, Crazy found the Asafune Katana from the Karasamon kill, and is now going to be using that versus Akmadon here. So Crazy is kind of just doing a completely different route, whiffing a couple of attacks here. Asafune is unfortunately not nearly as good as the Muramasa. Muramasa has way more hitboxes, way more damage, but similarly enough, Crazy is able to take it down without too much issue. Again, how's it going, everybody? If you're watching this on YouTube later, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I very much appreciate it. You can join the live streams on twitch.tv/DragonBlitz. That's where the tournament action is going to be happening. And Crazy finds the Heart of Vlad. Let's freaking go, gamers. Heart of Vlad found, which is one of those required relics. I mean, Ren's probably going to find it at some point. The big question with these types of presets where you start in the second castle is you kind of just have to ask yourself, when do I go back to the first castle, you know? And it looks like Crazy is doing a much more direct route to the first castle. However, he's also getting his, for lack of a better term, shit pushed in by these flying zombies. You gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Correction, Swamp Fuzz. This is technically not a tournament match. This is just a showcase of the tournament presets. Ren wanted to put this on. Both Ren and Crazy wanted to put this on as a way to try and hype up the tournament. So yeah. Shout outs to them. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me make sure that this is... Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah, that does remind me. I did forget to notify everybody on the Discord that I went live. I was a little, you know... I'm a very organized person, okay? Very organized. Let me go ahead and announce it. Twitch.tv/DragonBlitz. There we go. Yeah, so Crazy has made a decent amount of progress towards getting back to the first castle. Meanwhile, Ren has killed 2 bosses so far. Between Doppelganger 40 as well as Death. And is now using the warp from the mines, the reverse mines, to go back to reverse alchemy lab, and is maybe going to be making his way towards Beelzebub. It seems like Ren is trying to commit to this, stay in the second castle and do as many things as possible in the second castle. Meanwhile, Crazy's going for a completely different approach, which is the leave the second castle quickly whilst also doing some stuff along the way. His boss tracker doesn't seem to be updating, but he has killed Medusa and Akmadon so far. So they both have killed 2 bosses. They both have a couple of warps under their belt. And it looks like Crazy will be the first to leave second castle, and Ren wants to do much more exploration in the second castle. Possibly even full clear second castle before trying to do the first castle. Crazy now making his way to Darkwing Bat, yet another boss, and a potential relic check. Should be a good check here. I mean, Darkwing Bat is like so free. And honestly, the Asafune is putting in work. Crazy going out his way to do these item checks. These item checks are guaranteed to be single-use items, and a Mana Prism is found. That's a pretty useful one, especially in conjunction with a duplicator, perhaps. Meanwhile, Ren, yep, staying in the second castle, doing Beelzebub. And Beelzebub is weak to fire, so... Ooh, bouncing off of the flies. Some swag movement here from Ren. I'd recommend using some spells for sure, if you can, but... And Beelzebub is down. That's another boss down for Ren, making progress that way. Crazy doing a lot of item checks. A lot more item checks than I would have thought at first, but Eye of Vlad is found. Okay. So they're kind of even on Vlad's, even on boss fights. Crazy will be first to enter the first castle. One of the things that's important about the first castle in this preset, and just in this tournament in general, is that is where progression is going to be 99% of the time. That's where you're going to find your leap stones, your gravity boots, your jewels of open most of the time, you know? So first castle is almost always going to be required, and especially if you want like better movement options, first castle ends up being pretty powerful. However, I think Ren's strategy isn't bad. Doing a lot of the second castle early can be very, very useful, so... Ren got Yasasuna and isn't using it. Yeah, I mean, Crazy's definitely using it, but... Yes, every preset in this tournament is forcing second castle starts. That is kind of the gimmick behind this tournament, is we're going to have a bunch of different presets, all of which are asking the players to start in the second castle, make their way back to the first castle to progress, and then, you know... It's a way to force very different routes than what these players are used to, because the Symphony of the Night randomizer has been out for a very long time, and starting in the same place, it kind of homogenizes a lot of the routes possible. So... This kind of forces players to completely rethink how they want to strategize through these places. So, and we're already seeing like a major route divergence here. But because these players both have to kill all bosses, we'll see if their routes end up converging at any point. And I kind of like what Ren's doing, maybe a little bit more here. We'll end up seeing... Okay, he is using the Yasasuna finally. We'll end up seeing whether or not this ends up being like a kind of like a waste of time, his movement through the second castle, or if it ends up being more efficient, getting these checks done first. Because that's the other thing about... You start in the second castle, the game's logic is not set up in a way to assume you've started in the second castle. So you can end up skipping progression by checking everything in the second castle. You could find a Jewel of Open, or like Merman Statue, or Form of Mist, for example. Which now, when Ren goes back to the first castle, he already has missed, where Crazy might have to do multiple trips to go to the second castle, kill Trio. And honestly, Crazy was right next to Trio at one point. So this might end up being a huge advantage for Ren. Kind of sticking it out in the second castle, saying, you know, it's dangerous here, but there's going to be something for me here. And he finds, a huge deposit of library cards. Oh my god, and the Drag Tunic. This is why the guaranteed item drops can be so powerful. And he said, screw it, I want more. Give me more library cards. Granted, he's getting a little unlucky with the drops here. Wow, that is, yeah, this looking quite powerful. Okay, the game said you got enough library cards, Ren. Ren, you got like 4 library cards. That should be more than enough. I don't know why it's only dropping hearts now. I genuinely don't understand what's happening there. But wow. Are these pre-recorded or live? I assume Showcase means pre-recorded. No, it's live. These are live matches. I don't know why you believe Showcase means pre-recorded, because those are not synonyms, but, you know. It is a live match that we are watching right now. Mernco. And if you're watching live right now, don't forget to use your Prime sub if you got them. Amazon Prime does give you a free Twitch subscription to any streamer that you would like. You just got to use that Prime Gaming sub. It's literally free money. Might as well use it. You get ad-free viewing on the Twitch. You get emotes, access to the subscriber section of the Discord. It's definitely worth it if you got it for free. I think this is the issue that I'm seeing right now for Crazy. The issue with the idea of going first castle early to try and snipe early progression is the problem where you don't have Leapstone, you don't have Gravity Boots here in first castle. So now you're going to have to do some extra backtracking during some of these sections, because he just did Alchemy Lab, but now he can't. Like, he's going to have to do Alchemy Lab again if he wants to do the checks where you would normally find Skill of Wolf and normally find the Bat card. Meanwhile, Ren, if he so chooses, since he found Mist, he can Mist Rise, like transform into Wolf, transform into Mist, gain a little bit of height, do that over and over again to do those checks out of logic, which would just prevent more backtracking for him. And he might even snipe something like an early Leapstone or early Soul of Bat even. Will the tournament force start all seeds in second castle? Yes. I've answered that question like 3 times already. Maybe I should put some sort of like thing on the screen. But yes, that is the gimmick behind this tournament. All seeds start in the second castle. That's the gimmick. I wanted to force these players into trying new routes because the randomizers have had there's like only 3 or 4 different routes, honestly, that are worth considering at any given time. And most of the time, it's just not How about 92 font on the screen? That's a good question. Yeah, why don't I do that? Here we go. I got you guys. There we go. We did it. Yes, all presets will start in second castle. Woo! Does this help you guys read it better? Let's fucking go! Alrighty. This solved easy. Yeah, so far, for whatever reason, we can't see the bosses defeated for Crazy, but, you know, I can assume it's been, at the very least, Karasamon, maybe? But he's definitely killed Slugger and Gaibon, and now he's killing Minotaur and Werewolf here. Meanwhile, Ren, I think this is about to be a full clear on the second castle outside of Galamoth, which he has the warp to go do later. And Creature. So Ren has full cleared the second castle besides 2 bosses here, and he's going to just library card, interestingly enough. I guess that's fair enough. He has missed, so the library warp here just ends up being probably pretty good. If I was him, I probably would have went all the way to Galamoth or to Creature and then library carded, because you're already in the second castle, might as well. That'd be my thought process. And he was right next to a warp, but he has all this money and he's checking the shop here, and it doesn't seem like anything is that useful. I mean, there's Moonrod. Yeah, the shop's looking pretty mid. Like, literally, I wouldn't even buy anything. Maybe a potion. Yeah, not even worth that. Corwin says, greetings from Netherlands. Love your vids. Keep it up so I don't get bored. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy. Oh, it looks like Ren messed up the jump here to get to fairy card. Let's see if he can do it again. Oh, Crazy goes back for the spaghetti. Very important. Love to see it. And Mist gets... Oh, wow. And he just finds Power of Mist. Yeah, no, Ren has a massive lead here. Him deciding to stay in the second castle ended up working out incredibly well here. I think in this preset, staying in the second castle makes sense, because you start with the wolf movement. You know, the only thing that you really are blocked from, nothing. You're really blocked from nothing. You might as well just, you know, thug it out with the wolf movement the entire time. Crazy is doing something very important here. He is choosing to skip fighting Doppelganger 10 here, because you don't actually need to kill Doppelganger 10. There's a weird, like, quirk with this game where if you kill Doppelganger 40 before killing Doppelganger 10, it counts as killing both of them. In my brain, my headcanon is the idea that Doppelganger 40 is Doppelganger 10, and when you kill Doppelganger 10 the first time, it doesn't actually kill him, and you have to fight him again, but he's leveled up. That's my headcanon, but actually it's just a bug, because this game is very silly. And Spikebreaker is found at Soul of Bat, interestingly enough. So actually, this ends up not hurting Crazy that bad here. Well, it does, because he still needs Mist to get to the Silver Ring location, but it's kind of implying that Silver Ring ends up being either the final Vlad relic or something important like that. When you see Spikebreaker, it basically tells you that if you see Spikebreaker behind a location that is guarded by something, like, you know, the Soul of Bat location is guarded by needing the Mist relic. So finding Spikebreaker there tells these players, okay, Silver Ring's going to be important, so I should prioritize getting Silver Ring at some point. Is there a link to the rule set? I do have a tournament document, actually, that I can pull up here in just a second. Give me one moment here. Sorry, I just have to do that. There we go. They also found Merman statue here, interestingly enough. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the tournament document has been linked in the Symphony of the Night randomizer / speedrunning Discord under the tournament page. But I will go ahead and copy that here as well for you guys. So both of these players kind of chilling as far as like progression and stuff goes. I can put it on Medusi.com, yeah. I'll go ahead and pin this in chat as well, over on the Twitch chat, so that way anybody asking can find it there. Cube of Zoe found it Fire of Bat for Ren, interestingly enough. Also finds Mornblade. I don't think these players are really hurting for particular damage here. They have Yasasuna, they've seen Tolkis. Like, there's a lot of good items here, so we'll see how these players decide to go from here. Ren, again, I think just has like a pretty decent sized lead here. He hasn't been to Alchemy Lab yet, but that kind of doesn't matter. He also has Mist and Power of Mist, which is just like helping him kind of smooth out his movement quite a bit. But he is using a lot more MP than Crazy, so we'll see. So Crazy already has the outer wall, or sorry, the castle keep warp, because he got to the first castle the normal way. So I wonder if he's going to go through Clock Tower or not. He's probably going to opt to skip Clock Tower. Ren, on the other hand, hasn't been here yet. And he's going to be able to do all of these checks with Flight already acquired. So again, choosing to stay in the second castle is paying off huge for Ren. Where Crazy, I think, is just, you know, not super terribly far behind, but we'll see how it ends up panning out later. I think Ren's route just ends up being more efficient. Like, he's just doing more checks because he had Flight early. That's not to mention the fact that he has like 3 reverse library cards chilling in his inventory. So he has access to a lot of like just very fast movement / routing options. And Crazy is now warping here to do these checks as well as he's finally going to kill Crossmon. That makes sense. And it looks like nothing? Really, nothing. Okay. Castle Keep had basically nothing. They found Echo, but, you know. I wonder, finding Echo here makes me think that Soul of Bat is in a high complexity location, perhaps. Like, Soul of Bat might be locked behind the Silver Ring location. And if that's the case, then that's actually not bad, per se, for Crazy. Because he's going to find the Spike Breaker. Oh, no, he's not going to find the Spike Breaker because he doesn't have Bat. So if Crazy is able to do the Spike Breaker location without access to Mist, Power of Mist, without access to Bat, and without access to Spike Breaker, all of the advantage that Ren has for having found Mist early might be nothing. But I don't know how comfortable Crazy is with doing like Dark Wolf strats, for example. This is a preset where you have all the wolf movement available, so you could theoretically try and get through the Spike Room using the wolf invincibility on the wolf charge and stuff like that, and some key damage boosts, but we'll see how comfortable Crazy is with those strats. What is the flag antifreeze? Antifreeze means the game does not freeze when you pick up a life max up, heart max up, or level up, or like a relic. It just makes the experience of playing the game a little bit faster. Yo, what up, Nero? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Crazy's tracker. It's just like not working. But you know, it'd be like that. Okay. And they're both back in Alchemy Lab. This is what I was talking about earlier. So Crazy has already been through Alchemy Lab because he didn't have access to Flight. He couldn't do these checks early. But Ren is doing Alchemy Lab for the first time. So Crazy is losing time here, basically being forced to do this movement again. Now that he has Gravity Boots, though. And there's Leapstone. Okay. So that's probably the intended form of flight that the seed wanted these players to use. So if he keeps up the 0.00, he gets a guaranteed world record. That is true. If you never start your timer, you do get a world record of 0 seconds and 0 milliseconds, which is about as fast as you can go until you start going into negative time, which, you know, that's where things get sketchy. Maybe both of them are cheating and watching each other. We can only hope so much, you know? It'd make for a very fun environment. Quantum speedrunning, yes. Your speedrun is in a superposition. Oh, Ren has to do this check, but Crazy's already done it. So Crazy, in this hypothetical world where everything goes exactly his way, kind of takes the lead. His movement's looking kind of like schmovement, and finds the Jewel of Open behind a flight-locked location. The problem is this gives Ren access to Silver Ring location, which in my mind is either the final Vlad or it's Soul of Bat, which both options are not ideal for Crazy. He doesn't know that yet, though. However, if Crazy is able to go to the caverns... he's doing this because he found Merman Statue in Second Castle, actually. That makes sense. So Crazy is prioritizing checking the holy symbol location because he found the Merman Statue in Second Castle. So in his mind, he's like, okay, this is a high complexity check. It's guarded by needing to go to the Second Castle at the very least, so I'm going to go here first. So that's why he's prioritizing this. I imagine Ren, since he has missed, is actually going to prioritize going to Alrox's quarters, but I could be wrong here. That's my guess. Yep, he's going up to Alrox's quarters. Okay, that makes sense. Do we have a bet on who will win this one? I'll do predictions on the next couple of races. Thank you for reminding me. We started this one a little bit late because I was a little bit behind schedule. My bad. Oopsies. Sorry. Next one, we'll definitely do it. Back in question, if someone didn't start their timer in the tournament, would that be an auto loss? No. Because we can track the time their run took so long as they've recorded their run. We just check it after the fact. I'd give them a warning and say, hey, fix your timer for this next one, because the timer is very useful for like general things, but it's not required. Ren? I was going to say, he almost considered just leaving, but he needs to kill Minotaur and Werewolf, so he's going to do that now. And I believe Crazy has already killed Minotaur and Werewolf, if my memory serves correct. It'd be nice to know if he did it for sure by checking his tracker, but, you know, as we said before, tracker, I hardly know her. The other thing about this preset is because all of the bosses are required to open the final door to fight Dracula and Shaft, these players can't really like go for extreme relic skips. There's a couple they could try and do, especially any relic location that doesn't have a boss associated with it. You could try and skip it and hope that it ends up being nothing, and just prioritize the boss checks. That's one way that you can try and gain a small advantage over your opponent by risking it, but the routes are going to end up being kind of consistent in that way, where it's like, well, all the bosses are required, so at some point you're going to have to go fight Granfaloon, so you can't bank on skipping Granfaloon, you know what I mean? And nothing found for Crazy, but like I just said, these bosses are required, so it's not like he's wasting his time doing this check. That's one of the things that I like about requiring all bosses, is that you're not wasting your time with like some of the checks in the game, regardless of how they turn out, you know? It's like, oh, I didn't get a relic, but I still needed to do this for progression, so. Thank you, Sakadetsu, for the kind words. I hope you're having a good day as well. I believe, smooth movement for Ren, making it through the gap there. I don't think Crazy had the chance to fight Alrox yet, so this is going to be new information for everybody involved here. What's behind Alrox? Should be good, should be good. Yeah, only 2 random Vlads have been found so far. Both of them were in the second castle. And Ren found both of them. Crazy did find the heart of Vlad, but we'll see, we'll see. It's an anti-swarm preset. I think all bosses being required just changes the the mindset you have to have when racing. So another familiar card found. Oh, it's glasses. Wait, huh? Was Merman not found in the second castle? I thought Merman was found in the second castle. So that's interesting. Merman was found in the first castle then. I just was not paying attention. Interesting. So how does that... Huh. Very interesting. Man, I'd give myself brain damage just so I can experience the game for the first time again. Have you played the Randomizer? That's the closest you're going to get without giving yourself brain damage. Go to SotN.io and boot up a Randomizer. It feels like playing the game for the first time again. With less brain damage. I shouldn't say it doesn't give you any brain damage. I definitely have brain rot at the very least from my time playing SotN Rando. Also, Soul of Bat found at Sword Card, I think. That's very good, don't get me wrong, but it's not the end of the world for Crazy because he already has wolf movement, so. And yeah, Ren has anti-venoms. He's fine here. Using the anti-venom invincibility to get past the spikes. Even though he has Spike Breaker in his inventory, let's not worry about that. And it's Silver Ring. Okay, so this is going to lead to the final Vlad, isn't it? Okay, well now we live in a world where Crazy is screwed? On God, for real? This is kind of rough. Might try that, but it ain't the same. Well, I'm just trying to help you out, brother. I don't know. I guess good luck beating your head to smithereens to give yourself brain damage, I guess? I don't know. Some people just don't want the help. Rando brain is basically brain damage. Yeah, but it's more fun and less painful. For sure. Familiar card. Oof. That hurts for Crazy because this check is a wasted check. Because there's no boss associated with it. This is one of the checks that I personally like to skip. I understand why he didn't skip it because he's missing 4 Vlad relics. So the math just kind of feels bad to try and skip it, but man, oh man. Also, he's not using the wolf movement to the best of his ability. He has a full stick, a full bar of MP. And wolf movement is definitely faster than backdash canceling. If Ren is cheating like a gamer, he'll skip Merman. He might skip Merman because he probably just has more info at this point in the run. He's just done more checks. Ren is now going to warp back, to Alrox's quarters, and now he's going to start his descent into the caverns. Crazy, honestly, not finding much here except for Holy Glasses, which, don't get me wrong, Holy Glasses is good, but doesn't end up being that helpful. No, Ren is very good at this game. Is this official race? It's a tournament showcase. So this is not part of the tournament bracket itself. This is a for fun showcase to showcase what the tournament is going to be like once it gets started. These players wanted to race the new tournament presets with the tournament rules as a means to, get people excited, get people hype for the upcoming tournament. It's an exhibition match. Yep, they're exhibiting each other. They're exhibitionists, if you will. They play for fun. To be fair, the tournament is also playing for fun. And I feel bad for Crazy here because it feels like his decision to enter the first castle early just is not paying off for him. I wonder if he feels it at all. So he's going to Grand Falloon first to see what he can find. Also, Boners Rise Up. That is the final Vlad, most likely. I don't see a world where that's not final Vlad. So Ren has the advantage on Vlad relics. He also, I think, just has the advantage on bosses right now because he's done pretty much all the second castle bosses. This is looking like a Ren sweep right now. Yeah. Crazy opting to go up here and spam lightning. Does he know that you can hold the button down and it does it faster? Also, that attack is just bad. even though it does holy damage, it's still bad versus, like, it did nothing crazy. Why would you... feels bad. Feels bad. Yeah, the stupid chain lightning attack sub-weapon is so bad. It's cool, don't get me wrong. It's just not worth it most of the time. Ren is pretty greedy when it comes to item checks. Yeah, but like... Crazy was also doing a lot of item checks, and Crazy, I think, is very far behind, unfortunately. Yeah, nothing behind Grand Floon, but it doesn't matter because you have to kill Grand Floon at some point anyways. It all comes down to the fact that Soul of Bat was in the second castle. Or sorry, not Soul of Bat, Form of Mist. Form of Mist was in the second castle, and that gave Ren the... it kind of like pushed him into the correct route of doing all rocks early, because that Soul of Bat is helping out a lot. He also just did more of the second castle, which ended up being more efficient because it gave him access to Out of Logic Flight a little bit earlier with the Mist and Power of Mist Flight. Finding those library cards was also brutal because if Crazy at least had library cards and Ren didn't, that would be a different story, but Crazy just hasn't found the library cards. It's very, very unfortunate. Oh, well. And Crazy's opting to do the Spike Room with just invincibility frames. It looks like he doesn't necessarily have the Dark Wolf strat on lock, but he's just spamming potions instead. Uh-oh. Can Crazy make it through? I'm going to be honest, I have no clue where he is. I feel like Dark Wolf is so much easier than this. Especially with potions. Hopefully he doesn't run out. This is a completely unique strategy that I have never seen before. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Honestly, yeah, I would just be jumping and double jumping. Meanwhile, this is giving Ren so much time to catch up. As far as like relic checks and stuff like this. Ren is going out of his way to do the holy glasses are down here, so this looks... Oh? Crazy? Can he do it? Honestly, yeah, I would just double jump with invincibility frames at this point, yeah. Oh, you need to... Oh, is he out? I think he's out of potions. He used all of his potions. Is he just bailing at this point? Oh, no, he has 21 potions. What was happening? Why didn't he spam them? Huh? Oh, no. Crazy. You gotta learn Dark Wolf for this tournament, bro. You gotta learn Dark Wolf strats. It's so consistent. Yeah, he's not spamming the potions. After this untransform, you gotta spam potions. You need the invincibility. You're touching spikes. You're inside of spikes right now. You gotta know that. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Okay, he made it. Holy shit. Stressful, man. Look, it's difficult to get through there completely blind with iframes. You can do it, but it's one of those things where if you want to be a top level randomizer player, that sort of tech comes up all the time, and you got to get better at it. Yep, and it's a random Vlad too. This actually screws him. Hopefully he has the mental wherewithal to... Oh, but does he know where Echo is? I don't know if he ever found Echo. Because in his mind, he's thinking this is Final Vlad. Oh, that's so bad. He thinks this is Final Vlad. Why is there no timer? Because the timer just doesn't work. I don't know, man. Sir, this is a Wendy's. The problem is Crazy's not going to find the Rib of Vlad because it's locked behind the Holy Glasses location, and he's not going to check the Holy Glasses location because that needs Mist, and Mist is all the way in the second castle. He is going to just gamble on not needing it, basically. Can I move the mouse off Crazy's screen? No, because it's his mouse. You guys are asking. They're the ones that are streaming it. Crazy's the one that has the mouse on the screen. He's the one that didn't start his timer. He's the one with the broken tracker. I can't fix this. It's his stream. Go yell at him. Call him a stinky poo-poo dumb doo-doo head. I'm just here watching the match. Also, don't do that because he's also losing this race, and that's kind of mean. I'll yell at him after this, okay? Streamer, do something! Please! If you are concerned about the mouse on the screen, what you need to do, and I'll do it too, so you guys don't feel left out here. Let me make sure you guys can see my mouse. I'm going to take my mouse and go over his mouse. So now your mouses can hold hands. And then you can put your mouse over my mouse, which is over his mouse. So all of them are holding hands. Do it at home right now. I'm glad you guys are paying attention to the important things in this tournament match. This tournament showcase match, I should say. I don't know. My mouse is kind of big. Hey, whoa. Can't on mobile? What do you mean? You don't have a mouse for your mobile device? Yeah, this is going to be tough because Crazy is now doing the All Rocks checks here, but like he's also getting owned by All Rocks? Damn. It looks like Ren is winning due to his superior IRL luck stat, yeah. So that's the first castle clear. Yeah, Ren is Ren just has to not skip Spike Breaker, actually. Will Ren skip Spike Breaker? Probably not, because he only has 2 checks left in the first castle, right? He has Creature and he has Galamoth, so he still needs to save Richter as well, but we'll see how he decides to do that. Yeah, in my mind, Ren still has, what, 3 library cards left? If I was him, I would check Spike Breaker. I would then... which is what he's doing. Then I would library card, go to second castle, do the final boss fights. GG easy. We'll see if Ren remembers that he has either Echo of Bat or Spike Breaker. It looks like he doesn't need it, though. Clean movement through the Spike Room with the Blind Bat movement. A classic since Season 1 of the Randomizer all the way back in 2019. That tech has been known about for 6 years now. 6 whole years. And yeah, Ren now has all the Vlad relics. He knows for a fact all he has left to do is to save Richter, kill Galamoth, kill Creature, call it a day. This is looking like GG's. Has it been long enough to use cap and no cap ironically? You could have started doing that day 0. That's how most people do it. There's a lot of stuff like Blind Bat in this game where there's just a consistent setup, and once you know how to do it, the execution's not too bad. Is this all bosses? Yes, all bosses are required in this preset in particular. If you want to learn more about the tournament and how it's being ran, the pinned message in chat explains that. There's a tournament document that you can look at if you would like. Ren deciding to use Maulblung Sword with Medusa Shield. I think Yasasuna is just strictly better in most cases, but I don't know. What is Crazy doing? Why is he going to the library? Because he has to kill Lesser Demon. Oh, no. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. I mean, this is going to be over in like 5 minutes anyways. Closer to like 10. But so Crazy is thinking, okay, I don't need anything else. I already found the final Vlad relic. It was at Spike Breaker. That's what's going on in his brain. Meanwhile, it couldn't be further from the truth. Crazy does not have Mist, no. He does not have the form of mist. It's in the second castle, I believe, behind the Castlevania 3 trio. And funny enough, he could have done that check. He could have done that check. He was next to trio, but he just chose not to fight them for whatever reason. I guess he decided he would just do it later. But yeah, so he's just killing the boss and leaving. But no, I mean, Ren just has a massive, massive lead here. Ren's decision to stay in the second castle just paid off huge. And I think in this particular preset, most of the time, full clearing second castle just makes sense. Unless you are completely, like, in a terrible, terrible spot. Ren also, I think, chose the better of the two routes generally, which is choosing to do caverns early. Caverns early can be scary, but I don't know. It ends up being pretty powerful. Reverse caverns early, that is. But it all depends on where you start in the second castle. The second castle start is a random room in the second castle, so depending on which room you start in, that just changes your route significantly, so. But this time, it paid off for Ren. Yeah, if you have good movement and this preset starts you with good movement, I think staying in the second castle just ends up making sense for the most part. I even thought Ren could have done this because he found library cards. He could have already done Yalamoth at this point and then just library carded to the first castle instead, so. Okay. Medusa's Shield is a choice versus Galamoth. Spoilers, it's not the correct choice, but it's cool. Hey, it's cool. And maybe he's screen cheating. He's stream sniping, and he knows he's far ahead. So he's like, screw it, I'll do something fun. This is kind of scary. Yeah, he could easily... I don't think he saved before this either, but he could screw up the stun lock. But he makes it through just fine. And he decides to reverse library card out of there, which makes sense. There's not a single relic in the game that he needs, but he got the boss kill, which is all that matters. And this reverse library card is going to put him right in front of Creature, which will get him to the end of the game. So at the end of the day, Ren's routing was very, very strong. Worked out very well for him. Congratulations. You did it. Hooray. Meanwhile, Crazy, yeah. This race will be over soon. What do I think is the worst second castle starting room? It is the reverse switch that you press in the in the caverns, where you would spawn the Donkey Kong skeleton that blows up the bridge. So basically, reverse caverns is, I think, the scariest, because you just have like a bunch of enemies that kill you in 1 or 2 hits that you're surrounded by, and your route as far as like how to progress isn't amazing. Most of the time, your best chance as far as progression goes is to go towards like the reverse mines and kill Death and Galamoth like super early, and it can be scary. So thank you for the commentary. The rule set looks very interesting. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. I thought so too. I thought pretty hard on what I wanted to do for this tournament to make it stand out from previous tournaments, as well as give players a reason to practice something new. So we'll see how it goes. I think there's things I like about second castle starts that I think makes for a unique play experience, but we'll see how the players feel about it at the end of this tournament. So long as I'm not turning any of the players into alcoholics via the stress I put them under for this tournament, then I'll consider it a success. Extensive playtesting before the tournament. GA, wish others did that. Shrug. I think it's just the right thing to do if you're going to... If you respect the players with which you are getting content out of, you should do that out of courtesy, but I'm turning them into speed addicts, which is arguably worse. Look, I just want to share my addiction for going fast. That's all. So the first guy finishes. Do we have to wait for the other guy to finish? Probably not. We probably could just move on. But yeah, Ren is doing a crap ton of damage with this Medusa Shield combo. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Medusa Shield combo is better than the alternative that I was thinking of. That's my new catchphrase. Jizz it up, streamer. We stay jizzing it up over here. Thank you very much, Simon, for the Prime sub for 17 months. Primers, don't forget to rise up. Use that Amazon Prime subscription to get that free Twitch sub. And use it on whomever you wish. Preferably me, smiley face. And this is why I don't like the Medusa Shield spell, because sometimes the laser beams just fly off screen for no reason. So. And also, it lags the shit out of the bit rate there. But there it is. That's time 51:47. We'll see if Crazy ends up seeing that and forfeiting here. We'll see how that works. But GG's to Ren in the first showcase match here. If you enjoyed watching and you're watching on the YouTube channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You're going to be seeing more fun tournament action soon. So subscribe, join the live stream, twitch.tv/DragonBlitz. And we'll see you in the next one, YouTube. Have a great day. Bye-bye.